Cardiff City's Rubin Colwill has been left out of the Wales squad by Craig Bellamy for the upcoming games against England and Belgium. Aaron Ramsey, the veteran midfielder who isn't playing a great deal of football after his move out to Mexico, has been included, and this is causing a great deal of consternation amongst Wales fans, amongst Cardiff City fans. There's some divide amongst the camp as to what is the right way to go about this. And, I think you have to confront at this stage that something clearly in Craig Bellamy's mind, the doubts around Rubin Colwill are very clear now. He's yet to play a single minute for his Wales team since he took over as manager back a year or so ago at the end of the summer 2024. And you can kind of understand why. At the back end of last season, given that Colwill was a struggling young player playing for a struggling Cardiff City team in the Championship. But now he is one of the informed players in the EFL. He's playing for Brian Barry Murphy and Cardiff City, who are flying in League One. And quite clearly, in terms of technical ability and form, he should be selected within this. Now, if we go back to March 2025, where Colwill was left out of Bellamy's squad for the second time. He was out the first squad, for the second squad, and then dropped again back in March. Bellamy said he's got to be playing week in, week out for his club. I feel for him, but he'll take care of himself and he'll be fine. He's fine. He's just not in these numbers for this squad, but he will have a big say in this qualifying campaign. Rubin is okay. So what he's saying there is he's been playing week in, week out for his club. He is doing that now, and he says that he'll have a big say in this qualifying campaign, but he isn't. He's not being selected. He's not playing any part, even a part of the squad sitting on the bench. And there may be ideas here that League One isn't high enough quality for players to be brought into for these big games against England and Wales. But his younger brother, Joel Colwill, is in the squad, who a very promising young player himself, but isn't displaying the same quality as Rubin Colwill, isn't as good a ball player, as good a technically gifted footballer as Rubin Colwill. Dylan Lawler, the Cardiff City centre-back, who started the season incredibly well, has been brought out of the side recently by Brian Barry Murphy. He is a League One footballer who's in the squad. Ronan Capaccio, the right-back, is playing League One football. He's in the squad. Josh Sheehan, the Bolton Wanderers centre midfielder, playing League One football, he's in the squad. So it can't be that Bellamy doesn't see the quality of League One being high enough. And also sometimes, especially with the inclusion of Ramsey and to a lesser degree Sheehan, I can understand it when managers look for experience. They look for trusted players that they know very well, that they know they can rely on for international camps. But Colwill is far more experienced than Capaccio, than Lawler, than even his younger brother, Joel Colwill. So it's really hard to understand why exactly he's doing this. You have to think it might be a stylistic issue where, maybe his out of possession work doesn't really fit what Bellamy is after. We know that Craig Bellamy seems to really rate Mark Harris, who is back in this squad despite not playing week in, week out. He's struggling for minutes at the moment with Oxford, who have Will Lancashire leading the line effectively and Nick Prelet's just in behind. And Harris's work rate is what sets him apart. He's not a prolific goal scorer, certainly not at international or at championship level. And yet, here he is still getting into the squad, despite going against what was said by Bellamy back in March in terms of what he needed for his players to be selected for the squad. It is hard to really make a case as to why he's missing out here, and it's going to be incredibly disappointing for Colwill. And frankly, when you're an international manager, we saw it with Gareth Southgate and Jack Grealish a few years ago, where when there is a player who is overwhelmingly wanted to be in the squad by the fan base, you're making a rod for your own back here, because regardless of, he's got two very difficult games coming up against England and Wales, where, yes, the England game is a friendly, but it's England at Wembley. It's going to be, it won't feel like a friendly on the day, and it'll be a game that Wales fans are desperate to get something out of, but it'll be tough. And then the Belgium game is obviously a crucial qualifying game against a very, very tough opposition. You're playing against two teams where, if you take out France and Spain, probably have as much star quality stacked into their squads as anyone else in European football. And if things don't go well, and there's a swathe of Cardiff City fans, a swathe of Wales fans, many of whom will be Cardiff City fans, who believe that one of their best technical footballers isn't in the squad, let alone in the team, then it's going to make things very difficult for Bellamy himself. So I mean, I'm disappointed. I think Colwill will feel like he's had enough in this camp. You start to get the feeling as to what can a player do in order to force his way in. And there's also an element where you have to wonder if Joel Colwill is sitting at home at the moment, wondering if he has to leave Cardiff City in order to prove himself, when his teammates and his brother seemingly playing well for them is enough. So, frustration, and also when you couple that, the idea of the out of possession work rate, and maybe the way that Joel Colwill plays in terms of not being particularly quick on the ball but being very effective. Aaron Ramsey offers very little out of possession, and Aaron Ramsey isn't particularly quick in possession either. So it's not like the stylistic switch is particularly obvious between those two. So frustration for Colwill. It's going to be a big talking point either way, and I'm lucky enough to be going. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure I'll be going to Wembley for the England-Wales game. So in 10 days or so time, we can look forward to a video of my analysing the game. But until then, until the ball is kicked, there'll be a lot of chat between Wales fans as to why Craig Bellamy is so reluctant to play one of Wales' best young players.